Hey guys, Dr. Frank here, the founder of AddictionMindset recovery coaching programs. We help people quit nicotine, THC products, energy drinks, and other drug addictions, including gambling, pornography, social media, gaming, and alcohol. So we're going to jump into this video today talking about the 12 signs or 12 questions that you can ask yourself to help you determine if you're addicted to marijuana or THC containing products. People ask me all the time on my channel, hey, how do I know if I'm addicted to marijuana? Is it a dependency? Is it an addiction? Are they the same thing? If you guys watch my channel, you know I say dependency has a shadow, and that shadow is addiction, right? So we're going to talk about 12 questions. These 12 questions are taken right from Marijuana Anonymous. I put the link below for the website. It's a support group, just like you have Alcoholics Anonymous, like you have Narcotics Anonymous. There's enough people addicted out there to marijuana that there is now a Marijuana Anonymous. So we're going to go through these 12 questions. And if you answer yes to even one of these questions, you might need to consider that you're struggling with a marijuana addiction. So let's start right off the bat. Question number 1, has smoking pot stopped being fun? This is a really important question, in my opinion, when it comes to marijuana addiction. A lot of people romanticize about the good times when it comes to smoking, about the fun they were having with friends, about the past times, the good old times. But the reality of your situation right now might not be that. And for a lot of people who are addicted to marijuana, it's very, very hard to accept that the good times might have ended. These might be really, really bad times right now that you're stuck in. Really depressing times. Addiction is a depressing place. So, has smoking pot stopped being fun? Yes or no? Do you ever get high alone? Question number 2. So a lot of people are going to answer yes to this question, and you could probably argue that if you answer yes, this doesn't mean your addiction. A lot of people probably smoke alone, but I'll tell you the dangers of getting high alone, or the dangers of this. Life and trying to become successful in life is about making connections. And a lot of those connections are social connections. They're networking connections, right? It's not what you know, but it's who you know in life. So if you're starting to live a very isolated life and you have goals and you have ambitions and you have dreams and you're an entrepreneur, you want to be an influencer, you want to build a business, whatever goals you may have probably require a degree of networking, social influence, and just you can't live in isolation. You can't live in isolation in today's world if you want to go accomplish big things. You have to have those social skills. So getting high alone, I think, can be a very, very dangerous thing. Okay. Question number 3, is it hard for you to imagine life without marijuana? I remember when I first started smoking, I said to myself, I am never not going to smoke. I was all in on the lifestyle, the stoner lifestyle. I had a PAX vaporizer. I had a one-hitter. I had a bowl. I had a bong. I had a volcano vaporizer. And then eventually led into the dab pens and the carts. But I remember telling myself I'm never going to quit. And I remember being at an age throughout high school, college, and early adulthood, even right up to the age of about 28, saying, I'm never going to quit this drug. It's an incredible thing. I don't want to live without it. Unfortunately, that was a lie that I was telling myself. That was a lie. Question number 4, do you find that your friends are determined by your marijuana use? Dan Pena, motivational speaker, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So if you have big dreams for your future, if you have big goals that you hope to achieve, and you're struggling with an active addiction, and you're surrounding yourself with people that promote and encourage that active addiction, you might want to start to question that. Are you choosing your friends based on your use? And if so, I would question, even more importantly, what people are you blocking out of your life? What people are you neglecting? What people are you isolating yourself from that could potentially be leading you to that next opportunity, that next step? So Question number 5, do you use marijuana to avoid dealing with your problems? A lot of people use drugs to cope. I know based on the TikTok videos, a lot of people use marijuana to escape reality, to cope with problems, whether it's anxiety, depression. And I'm not talking about people using marijuana for medical uses, although they still might be addicted to it and the addiction might outweigh the medical benefits. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, do you use marijuana to avoid dealing with your problems? So what are these problems that you're avoiding dealing with? Is it a school project? Is it a work project? Is it an anxiety that you're suffering from? Is it a depression that you're suffering from? Obviously, using a substance doesn't fix any of these things. In fact, I bet if you think about it, it's only making these problems worse. People say, I smoke because I had a stressful day at work. Well, maybe you have work that you're supposed to be doing when you come home. I smoke because I don't have money and I'm stressed about finances. Well, maybe you shouldn't be spending your money on this. Maybe you should be investing your money into something that's going to move that needle forward for your future career, for your future self. I always ask myself when I look at an addiction, how is this addiction going to get me to where I want to be in life? Just something to think about. Do you use pot to smoke with your feelings? Question number 6, kind of like we talked about in question number 5. Look, a lot of people use marijuana and they say it helps with the anxiety, it helps with the depression, yet they're still suffering from anxiety and they're still suffering from depression. Especially those individuals who, at this point where marijuana is actually making them sick. Remember, marijuana is a biphasic drug. At too low of an amount, it won't do anything. At too high of an amount, it could cause the opposite effects. So if you're taking it for anxiety, it can actually trigger anxiety attacks in an individual who's using too much. I know I certainly was using it to cope with my feelings. Very dangerous. Question number 7, do you use marijuana to let you live in a privately defined world? I never really understood this question. I would say this relates closely to isolation. Do you ever get high alone? Are you living in a privately defined world? I can't talk about that one a lot because I can't relate to it. Question number 8. Have you ever failed to keep promises you made about cutting down or controlling your use of marijuana? So the answer is probably yes. If you're watching this video, you try and take a tolerance break and you only make it through the first 1 or 2 days. You only make it for a week and you want it to go through for a month. This is a clear sign of addiction. This is a clear symptom of addiction. You say you're going to stop. You tell other people you're going to stop and you don't. And I'm going to warn you, this is an extremely dangerous thing when it comes to addiction, because when we say something and we don't see it through, we start to train our brain to accept a lack of success. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it, and I want to make sure I give it my best shot, because that's ultimately what's going to lead to success in life, that never give up attitude. If you look at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, people, just the great people in life who have accomplished things, amazingly huge things, people who have changed the world, they saw it through. They don't stop. They don't give up. And if we're constantly going back on promises that we make to ourselves, that wears away at us over time. It takes a lot from you mentally and physically. Question number 9, has your use of marijuana caused problems with memory, concentration, or motivation? Were you once a great athlete? Were you once a phenomenal student? Were you once the person that remembered everything about everyone, which made you more sociable, a better individual to be around? Have you noticed issues in those areas? Are your grades suffering? Is your work life suffering? Are you constantly not knowing where you put your keys or your wallet in the morning? Clear signs of addiction. Okay, question number 10. When your stash is nearly empty, do you feel anxious or worried about how to get more? Are you constantly asking your plug, hey, are you around? I really need some this weekend. Are you constantly nervous about your stash? And how hard are you working to maintain that stash? How much time are you putting into going to pick that stash up? How much are you overpaying for that stash in times of drought or in times of need? Something to think about. Question number 11. Do you plan your life around marijuana use? If the answer is yes, this is probably one of the most important questions on here. You should be planning your life around the future that you want to create for yourself. And I know you probably dream big. I know you're probably an ambitious person. I know that success is definitely in the sober version of you future, your future. If you're planning your life around marijuana use, you're not planning your life around your goals. You're not planning your life around your ambitions and your motivations. You're planning your life around chasing an addiction and not an ambition. So planning your life around marijuana use means you're not planning your life around other things that may be very, very big opportunities for you or things that you truly cherish and value. Question number 12. Have your friends or relatives ever complained that your using is damaging your relationship with them? This is a great question. Have you lost relationships due to your marijuana use? Maybe your use is holding you back from discovering that amazing relationship. We always tell people before you get into a good relationship, especially when you're in recovery, when you're quitting a substance, you have to focus on healing yourself before you're going to be able to connect with someone else, at least for long-term stability purposes. So how many times have you lied to family members? How many times have you lied to your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your parents about marijuana use? That constant lying eventually takes a toll on mental health. And if we put all this together, if we put together the isolation, if we put together the fact that maybe this addiction is something that you're not having fun with anymore, if we put together the fact that maybe you keep going back on your promise to take a tolerance break or cut down, if we put together the fact that you're planning your life around this, it all adds up to classic signs of addiction. We'll talk about dependency in another video. If you're answering yes to one or more of these questions, you may have a problem, and it may be time to seek out help. It may be time to ask for help, and you can schedule with our offices here at Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching. The number's on the bottom of the screen. The website link is in the bio. In the website, there's a free PDF on quitting addictions, including marijuana. It's a 75-page workbook on it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to go back and you'll see at the top of the screen where I recommend other videos that talk about how to quit marijuana, how to quit carts. I made a very detailed video on how to recover from stomach problems and the inability to eat after quitting marijuana called Recovering from Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome. Reach out if you need help. Take this addiction seriously. Unfortunately, a lot of media tells us these days that you don't have to treat this as a serious addiction. And I can assure you, this is a serious addiction. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for tuning in. Reach out if you need help.